Hello everyone, Farrell here with a guide that is more focused on the player than the game. Being in the secret finding Discord for the better part of a year has made me aware of the impact that farming mounts can have on a person. If you collect mounts, you've been there before. You're 7 hours and 55 minutes into your 12th time lost camp of the week and it's another Vera. You pass 200 kills on the Lich King for Invincible and all you get is that damn pet you've sold a million times in the auction house. And Siege of Orgrimmar exists. I get it. I really do. And it sucks. And it can have a serious drain on your desire to farm mounts. I know that I had to take a 2-month break from the game entirely because I burnt out with farming mounts. So here are a few tips to prevent the burnout that I suffered from and keep you happy in playing the game. Number 1. Split up your raids and dungeons. This is especially good advice for new mount farmers who are missing most of the rare drops from instances, and it can be really overwhelming once you start. Take a long look at your collection and decide which mounts you really want to add to it. Write them down and divide up your raids. From there you can decide how often you want to switch off. I personally started a bi-weekly thing, or rather bi-monthly I guess. I would split it up and only do it twice a month, depending on what raid it was. So maybe 1 week you'll do Firelands, Icecrown Citadel, and Vault of Archivon, and then the week after that you can just do Ulduar, Siege of Orgrimmar, and Dragon Soul. If you force yourself to do every painful raid every single week with no payoff, it can feel like a chore rather than a fun pastime. Splitting up your big raids and only doing them twice a month will cut down on the time you're slogging through the annoying roleplay and get back to doing other things you enjoy in WoW. Step number 2. Farm with friends. I understand the desire to play this game solo. I spend a lot of my time playing the game alone and keeping to myself, but there's a community for everyone. There are tons of wonderful people in the mount collecting community especially, and I personally have found my home in the secret finding Discord. With them, camping for time lost, farming time walking dungeons, and getting a solid realm hopping group going for Hulan is much easier with friends. It makes the game experience much more enriching and creates some memorable moments for you and your friends when you finally get an elusive drop. Step number 3. Start to work on some reputation mounts. Going 2 months dry into your mount farms can be seriously discouraging. The best way to recover from this is to start chipping away at some reputation mounts you've neglected to collect. With reputation mounts, you're guaranteed a mount at the end of it, so your hard work pays off 100% without any reliance on RNG. Lots of reputation mounts look super awesome too. If you haven't yet, take a look at the Netherwing Drakes, which reward a whopping 6 mounts at the end, and I think all of them look really cool. Another great reputation mount is the Heavenly Golden Cloud Serpent from the Xiaohao reputation. Not all awesome mounts are rare drops. Step number 4. Set your limits. Mounts that don't have a daily or weekly lockout can be a time trap. I'm looking at you, Vortex Pinnacle. There are several normal dungeons that have no lockout as to how many times you can run them, save for the hourly 10 per hour lockout that only masochists cap out on. There are also fishing mounts like the Sea Turtle and Pond Nettle that have no limit as to how many casts you can throw in. These time sinks can be especially draining, because there seems to be no end in sight. That's why you need to set these limits. One of my worst farms was Vortex Pinnacle, which I ended up running 476 times for the Drake of the North Wind. I set myself at a solid 10 runs per day maximum, and let myself do less if I didn't feel like it. I did a similar method with the Pond Nettle. I would only do 50 casts a day before moving on to do other things. By setting these limits, you make the endless farms end, and create a personal daily for yourself to set aside with the other dailies you might do when you log in. Step number 5. Multitask. Find ways to farm mounts passively during your main farms. For example, during your LFR queues for the Charhound or Abyssworm, you can fish for the Sea Turtle or Pond Nettle. Another way you can multitask is putting on a tabard for a reputation while farming Stonecore or Stretholm. Using your time efficiently can make your farms feel more rewarding even if you aren't getting the drops you want. Step number 6. Take a break. This is really just for the worst case scenario sort of thing. If farming mounts isn't making you happy or helping you enjoy the game, it's okay to take a break. It doesn't make you any less of a collector or less of a fan of World of Warcraft. You can focus on raiding or raided battlegrounds or battle pets if that's your thing. Taking a good long month break from farming mounts can really help you return with a fresh outlook and more motivation. So there you go. These are all the things I did in the past 5 years while building up my collection. There was a period of time where I was slogging through my raids, and once I started reflecting to myself and thinking, am I enjoying the game? I found ways to make the farm much more enjoyable. I hope this helps you guys. It shouldn't feel like a chore to log into the game. Remember to reflect on what's good for you, and not necessarily what's good for your collection. And with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I just want to take a moment to thank all of my followers, my subscribers, and especially my patrons. Thank you so much to the big 3 patrons on my Patreon. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for the additional support that you provide me. It helps me keep doing what I do, helps me keep making videos, helps me feed me and my 4 good rats. So just thank you guys so much.